Good afternoon, Coach. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Please introduce yourself and the players you have here today.
Coach Jimmy Bino. I'm in my fourth year at Suncoast Community High School. Today with me I have senior Nate Stafford, I have senior Zach Belair, and sophomore Brady Benavides.
Awesome. So, Coach, talk to us about, you have a younger team here. Talk about the roster and the talent that you have for this upcoming year.
I definitely have a young team. I'm very excited about a young team. We look at from last year's team to this year's team, we lost two seniors. We lost, I think we had 5 seniors total, but we lost 2 seniors who started. So we were a young team last year as well. We were 14-11. I think out of those 11 losses, 6 of them were by 1 run. Another 2 of those losses were by 2 runs. And we, basically have the same team coming back. So the hope is that we're a year stronger, a year smarter, and some of those 1-run losses change. And, last year we had the potential to have a 20-win season, and, this year hopefully we do have a 20-win season. So I'm excited. We have a lot of very good young talent. We have 4 or 5 sophomore arms that are mid to low 80s. We have a lot of good offensive bats. We have some very good defensive players who, like I said, who've gotten a lot of time on the field in meaningful innings, and we hope that translates this year. We have 2 seniors that they'll be the first 2 seniors that have been with me all 4 years that I've been here. So, they've really been instrumental in setting the tone, the culture that I want to have. And this is really the first year I think that I have a team that has the culture and the work ethic and the attitude and the vibe that I want to have with the team. So we're cautiously optimistic about the season and think we have the talent and the ability to, have a good run this year and have a good run the next couple of years. So
that's great. And from the player perspective, like Coach mentioned, you started with him, as a freshman and now you're a senior. Talk about how these last 4 years have been with your coach and compared to now your senior year.
Well, I think definitely I noticed a change right when Coach Bino came in, and you could feel that the whole program was going to take a turn for the better. Just a lot of things like more structured and a lot of things taken a lot more seriously. And I know that we as players really appreciate how much has gone into baseball and how much care has gone into the program, because it definitely wasn't something that was as important to the school, I feel like, for me. So.
And when Coach mentioned some of those losses last year by 1 run, you're looking at coming out on that field again, and is that going to be in the back of your mind, or you're going to just play as hard as you can for the same opponents that you lost just a little bit?
Yeah, I think last year it was a season that we all kind of knew. I feel like we had more than we gave out there, and we felt like we kind of left something on the table. I know for me. So I know that going into this year, it's going to be completely different, and we're going to be hungry for a lot more, especially with a lot that we left out there last year, and a lot of those games that we really should have won. So.
And for you, Coach, same question. Started as a freshman with Coach, and now growing up with your senior year. Talk about that.
Yeah, to touch on what Nate said, we definitely had a culture change when Coach Bino came in. But being one of the 2 seniors on the team, we experience basically a new step every year. We make it a little bit farther and a little bit farther. And as seniors, we got a fire underneath us to really just go the extra mile and finally get a district championship. And, same thing with the younger team as a whole. They come into this program knowing that we want more and more. So they're initially given that motivation and that desire to win. So it definitely sets up the program for a great future.
Awesome. And as a sophomore now, talk about, playing for Coach last year to this year.
I would say even as a sophomore, Brady's unique in the sense that Brady has played with me since he was 10 years old. So he has a unique perspective as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's like last year, had a pretty big freshman class, I'd say, and they were able to get some playing time. They were able to get a little bit of playing time, but now they know what to expect. Last year, I feel like we didn't really have as much of an identity as much as we do now. Now we have a higher expectation, and now we know what we have really to come out and build with. And it's just a lot more confidence. It's a lot more well-rounded of a team, and just being able to play together and building that young group of guys in order to even have better a better chance for the next coming years.
And Coach, let's talk about districts. Past, the future.
Well, we have a new district this year. They reset it. Geographically confusing, from Okeechobee all the way down to Plantation. But it's a good district. There's no question about it. South Fork, year in and year out, they're dropping down from 6A back down to 5A. Always a competitive team. Okeechobee last year is, who we eventually went out on. Always a well-run team. Coach Eric does a great job with them. Coconut Creek, don't know much about, but Heritage Plantation, I think goes without saying, is one of the top teams year in and year out. So it's a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge. But really, it's simple. If you want to be the best, you got to play the best. You got to beat the best, and you got to compete against those teams. So, I think we have a really good district from top to bottom. I don't see an easy out. I don't see a team that is going to roll over for anybody. I think it's a very competitive, very well coached, and a lot of really good players in our district this year.
And your expectations for getting the districts?
Oh, listen, my expectation is the same every year. I expect to win districts, go to regionals, and take our shot, and that doesn't change. I don't think it's a question of talent. We have the talent and the ability to do that. It's going on the field, putting it together, having senior leadership, having kids buy into what we're trying to sell as a coaching staff. We added a new coach this year that came to us from a program that historically has been very good, and he's been able to help fill in some of those gaps from a coaching perspective and the little details to make us better. And we've had a week of practice, and you already see it in that week. So my expectation every year is the same. I think we're good. I think we're competitive. And I expect us to go out there and win is what I expect.
At Suncoast, you guys are a very tough academic school.
Correct.
And balancing the academics with your program with baseball on the field, off the field. I like to hear. Well, we can start with the sophomore and then go to the seniors. But how do you do that balance?
I use it as just having a plan beforehand, knowing what's coming up, knowing what I have scheduled for baseball and for school, and just having a plan to know when I have time to do things, and just not necessarily overworking myself, but getting everything done and getting everything necessary to get done, and just really just having a plan and a schedule up ahead just to be prepared.
And how do you find the balance?
Yeah, the 4 years I've been here, I've enjoyed it. It's definitely been a challenge, but the guys that do go on and play competitive baseball in college, they realize that their life is going to be filled with a lot of work, and you need to plan it out right. And I think even baseball and academics, mixing the two, really builds that responsibility and that time management. So I've enjoyed it, and something I do love about Suncoast is when you have seniors who have been through it, and the junior and senior year really challenges you academically, they give a lot of advice on how to manage it. And definitely having some seniors, even though it's 2 this year, we definitely try to give advice to the freshmen and the sophomores, still getting their feet wet and getting a taste for the school, if you will.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what he just said. And I can sit here and talk about how hard it is, but realistically, I know we all come to this school for one reason, and it's to get a really good education, and that education is not there to necessarily be a bad thing, but it's going to help us in everything in the future. And then you add something like baseball, which we've all also dedicated our lives to. I mean, I know I've been playing since I was 4 or 5, and it's 2 things that is going to get you better in life. And even if you don't play baseball later on, it's going to be something that will help you with whatever you do and whatever job you have. So I really appreciate everything.
Excellent. And Coach, we were talking earlier about some of the plays that you do out there on the field, some complex plays. Talk about how your players and how that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were talking about it earlier, I said I don't know how complex. I think they're baseball plays, but I think they're definitely college level type plays that we try to implement. And we are fortunate that we have a high academic school. My players are smart players. book smart. They don't have a lot of common sense, but they are, book smart, and they're easy. They learn quick. They have a hunger, which I think probably translates into their schoolwork. They have a hunger to be the best. I think, all three of these guys are captains this year, and Zach and Nate, I think they really epitomize what the kind of player is at Suncoast. I mean, they're dedicated, and you have to be dedicated to be at a school like Suncoast. So you got to be dedicated to your schoolwork. You got to be dedicated to your team. And we have been very fortunate to have players year in and year out who come with that dedication. And, it makes it easy. It makes it easy to teach. It makes it easy to coach. They really have a hunger, not just academically, but athletically, and that's awesome. Suncoast is a great place. I mean, it's an awesome school educationally, and the baseball program, I think, has taken leaps over the last 3 years, and it's a great place to be, for sure.
I want to switch now. Tell me about your personal goals this year as well as the goals for your team.
Personally, I mean, I think it goes without saying that everyone wants to be like first team all county and play of the year, all that kind of thing, but I'm not really worried about that. I would rather, as a team, win a district championship against a team like Heritage Plantation and make it to regionals, which I've never even done in my high school career, which is something that I know would be very important for me because I mean, my brother was in the program a while back, and I think he won like the first district championship in Suncoast history or something, and it would be awesome to be a part of that history, especially because Suncoast hasn't had the best baseball in the past. But it would be awesome to do that.
Yeah, like what Nate said, I do have personal goals for myself, but to be honest, my main one is, being a senior, I want to contribute to the team and see how far the team can go. That's really my personal goal. I just want to be a contributor, and I mean, it goes without saying, every athlete wants to win, so that's what I have for myself.
For you?
Yeah, really, for me, it's just kind of building off last year, just going out and competing every day, just not really selling anything short, always giving all I have, and really, I like building the freshmen up as well because I know last year, like, it's still kind of in my memory because it was only a year ago, like, I was a tenser, like, at the first weeks of practice and games, like, you're playing tenser, you're thinking about everything. But once you get kind of comfortable into the program, comfortable into everything, you play a lot looser and it ends up you play a lot better. And just kind of building everybody up and building the culture up as a whole. And for the team, just kind of building off what we had last year and utilizing the young group that we have, really.
So sum it up for us, Coach. Bring us Evans.
Sum it up. Like I said, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I am incredibly proud of the young men that are on the team this year. I am beyond proud of Zach and Nate. Like I said, they'll be the first two kids that graduate out of the baseball program that have been with me for their entire high school career. And outside of high school, obviously, I also coach travel, and I've known them and they've played with me in different capacities. But just to see kids grow and get to the next level, Nate is committed to play at Coast Guard Academy, so he'll continue on. Zach's right there. Brady is talking to schools left and right, and to be a part of that and to help, I think that's what it's all about from a coaching perspective. But from the team perspective, like I said, it's such a different vibe. It's such a different culture, and it might be the first year since I've been here that it really has reached what I hoped it would be when I got there. And I can't say enough about my AD and the support that she's given us and the support the school has given us to build a program. The difference in the field, the amenities, the things that we've done over the last 3 years have been unbelievable. But it all starts with players, and they've been great. And it's, because of how they come to work and how they come to participate is what gives me that optimism. And I'm looking forward to the season. I think we're going to have a good year, and I really think it's going to be the start of a good, run for us at Suncoast. So.
You guys had a good time out here today at Media Days? Yeah?
Yeah, I think it was very fun. Something that's it's good for all the high schools to participate in and kind of get a feel for each other. So it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. As a team, we definitely had a great IO. So it was nice to see that, really see the team gel so quickly, just being in a few weeks of practice. So it's definitely good to see.
Yeah, it's good to put the uniform back on and kind of get out even before games start. Just get comfortable, like playing the uniform, playing together with a group of guys rather than practicing together. And nice to be back out, really.
Well, we're glad to see you. Thank you for participating. Good luck this season, and thanks again for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.